All right, so let's talk. Like, let's just talk. Me and you. This is what social media is, right? It's to be social on this platform. I posted something yesterday. It was Kaepernick taking a knee next to a picture of George Floyd being murdered. Now, there were a lot of people that um, showed empathy and displayed sadness through their comments, and they're in agreement that this madness has to stop. But then there's a percentage of people that were trying to rationalize. I don't know if they were trolling, which I don't get when there's death involved. There were people saying, well, Nate, if you don't resist arrest, the chances decrease of something happening, something bad happening. I'm going to address a few things, and I'm most likely going to ramble because I'm not reading off a script. This isn't TV. This is Nate telling you how great the three-fingered Odell Beckham catch was. This is Nate Burleson, the African-American man who is raising three African-American kids whose father-in-law was also beat up by the police, whose grandfather was also beat up by the police. This is me saying that I see things differently and I feel them differently. And because of that, I feel like there should be some understanding when I post about societal issues. I'm not here to attack police officers. I'm not here to generalize every single person in a uniform. If you know me, you know anything about me. Being born in Canada, raised in Seattle, went to school in Reno, played in multiple places. I don't think there's one person in the world that can sit here and say that I'm biased, racist, stereotypical. Nobody can sit here and tag me with anything that causes a disconnect between what I think we all are, which is brothers and sisters. I don't spew those words. It's not that I don't see color. It's just that I feel like because at the very core, we bleed the same. Our heart beats the same. We should all be the same, but that's not the case. Now let's take it back. From the time when I went to college in Reno, was drafted to Minnesota, played for the Seattle Seahawks, played for the Detroit Lions, briefly in Cleveland, New Jersey, New York, everywhere that I've been. I've not only been friends with a police officer, I have best friends that are police officers, men and women that do a great job. They're passionate. They're passionate about their jobs, but they're also passionate about how to interact with people, which is basically every day of their lives. I just had a party at the crib for Memorial Day. One of my best friends was over. He's been an officer. He's close to retirement out here in Jersey for a couple of decades. So this isn't me saying because one bad cop, one despicable dude with a badge makes me believe that every cop is bad. Nah. But there is frustration. There is frustration when you think about Botham Jean and a cop walking into his place accidentally. Tatiana Jefferson, I believe her name is. Brianna. Ahmaud Arbery. The list goes on and on and on. And of course, George Floyd. If I sit here and name them all, I'd run out of time. That's how long this has been going on. Now, as soon as anybody More times than not, a black person steps up, but it could be a white person, Asian person, Latino. It could be anybody. Anybody say, you know what, this has to stop. People in positions of power walking around with a badge and they feel like they can do anything. They could take a life and there's no consequences, no repercussions. The first thing people that want to rationalize the situation say, well, what about black on black crime? Nate, what about black on black crime? People were coming at me like, what about black on black? One, do you know what I do on my free time? When we had Tuesdays off, do you know where I went when I was in Detroit? Do you know how many community centers I've been to and how many kids I reached out to and parents I gave my number to? People that have been impacted by black on black crime? Just like most people that are passionate about a cop taking a man's life in the street, that person is most likely passionate about black on black crime. So don't be dismissive by bringing up something that has nothing to do with the subject at hand. And secondly, if you are bold enough to rationalize and say, well, if they just follow directions and they comply and they don't commit the crime in the first place, then this doesn't happen. What happened to de-escalating a situation? What happened to being first on the scene and protecting the moment, protecting the person that's in the moment, whether they are a little bit off because they're angry, mad, they got caught doing something, or they're mentally unstable, or they're just aggressive. What happened to unarmed people walking away alive? You know what's crazy about those names that I just said? Amongst a long list, they're unarmed. Unarmed. So you're telling me a guy that's unarmed, surrounded by 4 police officers, one with his foot on his neck while he's saying, I can't breathe. He's handcuffed for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, whatever it was. That should be the result. The result should be, I'm not going to say cold blood. I don't like when people say cold blood. That was warm blood. A warm-blooded murder? His warm blood spilling in the streets? That should be the end result? That's what you're telling me? And I know there's black people, white people, people of all colors that are outraged. I'm not jumping on here to say, hey, all you white folks tripping. And all you black folks better get out and start burning down buildings. Nah, I'm not. I'm not for that. I don't like seeing people burn down their own communities. Didn't like seeing it back in the 90s. I don't like seeing it now. But this is what pain looks like. You got to understand how we see things is different. It's different. My American experience is different than yours. I already told you how I feel about officers that approach their job with integrity. They're superheroes to me. When I was 8 years old and they came to my school and I looked at that person with the badge and I was like, that right there is a real life superhero. And there is real life superheroes doing their job every day. And when I see them, I tip my hat, say, what's up, thank you. Ask anybody before a game, what did Nate Burleson do? At practice, what did Nate Burleson do when he saw a man or woman of service or somebody in a police officer's uniform? What did Nate Burleson do? I walk right over. Thank you. Look them in their eye. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Coach Nate, what you doing? Where you going? Hold on, Coach. Give me a second. Hey, listen, I just want to come over and say, what's up, man? How you doing? Thank you. So this isn't me pointing a finger at a group of people because a few assholes are in the bunch. I do feel like there's a desensitized view that we look through. We see death, we hear about death, and it's like, oh, damn, that happened again? Oh, man. What? What happened? What? Another black man killed. What? They busted in the house and shot through the window? What? What? She was an EMT. Laying down. We hear these stories often. It's different. It's different when we hear them. So if you're anybody that can identify, please don't try to tell us it ain't that serious, or that somehow in some crazy reverse world that things could have worked out differently if the person didn't make a... No, that doesn't help. If you're not going to use your voice, then be quiet. Especially when it comes to talking to us about things that are going on with us. I feel like it's very simple. I know what that feeling's like. Hearing about what happened to my father-in-law, hearing about what happened to my grandfather, hearing about what happened to different individuals in my own bloodline, and then growing up and being pulled over and getting those questions, cop looking at you crazy, waiting for you to move. Don't move. Where's your hands? I don't have nothing in this vehicle, officer. Why you look nervous? I look nervous because I don't know why you pulled me over. Are you standing out chilling somewhere with a group of your boys and they approach you? What you guys doing? You got any drugs on you? You got weapons on you? Officer, you didn't even say hello. What's up, baby? You like, nah. And then it might be another officer. Hey, that's Nate Burleson. He played ball for the team, you know. All right, well, y'all get along. I've had those moments stacked on top of moments, stacked on top of moments. So my fear is different. When I walk out those doors, it's different. When I'm driving and I see them sirens, it's different. Heart starts racing, stomach drops, you start sweating, you get nervous. Now all of a sudden that officer comes, you look crazy. You look like something's going on because you're sitting there thinking, all right, let me handle myself. I know I haven't did anything wrong. I know my rights. But still, deep down inside, it can go bad like that. The conversations I have with my kids, they aren't your typical. It's not, hey, yo, son, I mean, you 16, you 14, Nehemiah, Nate, you 16. I know it's that time. Let's talk about girls and the birds and the bee. Luckily, I already had that. Because when I get alone times with my kids, I'm not spending time educating them on how to respect a girl because we've already covered that. I'm spending these moments on how to come home alive. My son's 16, about to be driving. I got to have that conversation. Hey, listen, man, when you get pulled over, 10 and 2, take your wallet, ID, insurance, proof of registration, place it all on the dash. And if you can't do it fast enough, don't reach for it when they come to the window. Do not do that. Tell them that you're going to get it. And move slowly. And if you drop your phone, don't reach in between your seats because that could be perceived as a threat. And you'll be riddled with bullets. And tell me I'm exaggerating because I'm not. Now, for you know, a crazy situation to happen and for some reason you get detained or you're being questioned and all of a sudden they think you're being the aggressor, I need you to chill. I need you to breathe slowly. Don't panic. If you start breathing too much, they might take that as a sign of aggression. And make sure you communicate clearly. And tell them that you don't have anything on. You don't have a weapon, that you don't. These are different conversations that I have with my kids. So when I post and say, hey, yo, Cap took a knee because of situations like this, I'm not even asking you to like applaud it or comment. I didn't say this was for likes. Like, I'm just telling you how I see things. And for those that say, what if I don't like both? You know what? I can't get mad at you. If you didn't like Cap's approach and you're like, you know what? I took it as him disrespecting America and the flag and the troops, even though out of Kaepernick's mouth, out of his mouth, he said he actually is on the side of the troops, and he wants them to be treated better when they get home because they're coming back to America and they are treated like second-class citizens. The suicidal rate is too high. It's hard for them to find jobs. We need to do more for their mental health. Cap said this, even though the narrative was pushed, and forget about it when it comes to those who didn't want to listen. I'm not asking you to agree. I'm just asking you to have a heart. I'm not asking you to go out there and join the fight. I'm just asking you to have a heart. Just have a heart. Why would you rationalize death when it's so clear that it was malicious? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So, a post is a small thing. It's literally just throwing a pebble into an ocean. I'm going to try to do more. These police officers that are close friends of mine, we're going to try to do town halls, sit downs, education to the youth, maybe even develop and strengthen those relationships so these kids don't see someone that can hurt them. When they see an officer, they see someone that can protect them. Let's just have a heart, because it's beating in us. You know what I'm saying? I know death is inevitable and it's going to happen. I just hate when it happens like this with people that look like me. Peace. How I do it. So, y'all take care, man. Be blessed. And take care of yourselves, but more importantly, take care of each other, you know? Sometimes you got to double tap that screen and turn your camera to what's going on outside. So that's why I do what I do. At times, social media can put us in position where we're just speaking from a place of vanity. Look at me, look at me. Look at what I got. Look at how I dress. Look at all my kicks. Look at how... There's not real stuff going on that affects me as a black man, that affects us as humans. So that's why I post how I post. It's not to explain. I look like sitting at home posting about my shoes or, you know, something that I'm watching on TV. Like, how tone deaf would I be? How detached from reality would I be if I just did that and act like, which I feel like my last two posts were necessary, regardless of how you may feel. But really, it was just me doing what I felt is right at the right time. So I had a very long IGTV post. And some people are taking it as me over-explaining myself. I'm not. I don't have to explain anything that I feel is necessary.